Alright, let's go, because you know what I came in to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
Boxing is very much, what have you done for me lately? You're only as good as your last fight, they say. Not exactly true. When you're talking about ATGs, and we're going to stay with the heavyweight division, you can't really make the assessment until they've pretty much retired or been retired, or a significant body of work has to be achieved before we start talking about greatness. The two Wilder wins for Tyson Fury, 2021-2022, put him in some kind of pantheon in people's opinion, where they're talking about him being a top 5, top 10 heavyweight of all time. GOAT status, that's what they're talking about, but that's their opinion. I think a lot of people, even people who seem to have sensible assessments of things in this time of social media and the internet, have attention deficit issues and can't really put it all together. So then forgetting how great Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson or Joe Louis or Lennox Lewis or George Foreman, how great these champions were, or Rocky Marciano. The question is why are not a lot of media and boxing fans, whether you're a Tyson Fury fan or not, requiring him to fight for Undisputed, which they're saying he's signed to do for December, hopefully. And he definitely could have fought a better voluntary than Derek Chisora. You need to go through as much top 10 contenders in your sanctioning body as possible as well. And he's never tried to do that. And Tyson Fury is a good fighter. And I know I'm going to sift through the internet in a minute, and I'm going to see, he's not that good, he's not this good, he's not that good. And there's always a balance there. He's not as good as a lot of people are saying, and he's not as bad, nowhere near as bad as people are going to be saying he is today after the Francis Ngannou fight. At the press conference, the media workout, a day or so before the weigh-in, I wrote it down. I said, this guy is not in shape. Better watch out Saturday. And of course, most people disagreed with me, saying he doesn't need to be in top shape to fight this guy. And this is why Jake Paul is having his moment right now. A lot of people are saying, why didn't he fight real fighters? You're fighting basketballers. Francis Ngannou can fight. Boxing enough, they give you all the issues you need. He's a genetic freak. 19 stone, full of muscle. He's as explosive a combat athlete you will find. The Beat's opinion is Francis can go into any amateur or pro gym, and anyone who doesn't take him seriously will end up spitting their teeth out on the canvas. I don't care how inexperienced he is. I'm not saying that Francis is going to be some ATG boxer. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's like a bomb device, and only specialists can handle it. You've got to be in shape. You have to be in shape. That's the minimum you have to be. And I knew Tyson Fury wasn't in shape. In hindsight, looking at the event, he wasn't mentally there either. It was what some people would describe as a circus fight. And it's hard switching from fights what don't have a circus element in it to then go into this hybrid fight. It's quite difficult. And that's what Tyson Fury found yesterday. He fought to the level of the event, of what people said the event was. And he found himself on the canvas. And he finds himself in his reputation as this great heavyweight being questioned today. It's almost like Fury found himself at this huge event that he's always wanted. And now he's got it. But while you're basking in the limelight, did anyone tell this guy there's an actual fight that you have to participate and perform in? As much as he was trying to tell himself, I'm not going to do what Joshua did against Ruiz and take his half the ball, well, he dropped the bag a little, didn't he? And you have to wonder if the event got to him a little. He banned TalkSport from the event, even though AJ probably got it worse from TalkSport than Fury. I didn't see him banning them. I didn't see Eddie Hearn talking about banning people. He can't take the criticism, but he likes dishing it out. And he's not like a Mayweather. Like Mayweather took so much criticism over how much years and always performed. And there's people saying now that the Usyk fight can't happen. He's got to run it back with Ngannou. No one cares about Undisputed no more. It's devalued. It's been tarnished by that gift he got yesterday. And what's his excuse for not being in shape? You know, he was talking about lowballing Usyk. I deserve the A-side split of the purse. I'm only going to fight if the money's right. Well, the money was right yesterday and you didn't show up. What's the excuse? Big game player? Then Mayweather is your dude. He fought in huge events. with the world and the spotlight on him. And he always turned up in shape. Flagship the event, flagship the sport. And in hindsight, yeah, that guy is unbelievable. There was huge sections of the media who disliked him immensely. And there was a lot of pressure. But you'd never think it if you looked at him. And if you heard him talk. To flagship the sport and perform in the ring, that's the template. Tyson Fury, the shortcuts have caught up to him, yeah? Should have been in shape, regardless who you were fighting. You shouldn't have been fighting Ngannou, in all truth. You should have been fighting Usyk. You shouldn't have fought Derek in that voluntary last year. You shouldn't have blew up to 300 pounds. And now it's catching up to you. It's all catching up. The yo-yo dieting, all them years. How old is he now? 35. The shot that caught him high up on the head wasn't a chin shot. Was it on the temple? Which can discombobulate the equilibrium, I guess. It was the way Francis countered the 1-2 to score that knockdown. It was unbelievable. Tyson was a little buzzed, but I think it took his confidence more than he was actually out of it. I think his confidence suffered more, and it changed the tone for the rest of the bout. And it also seemed to settle Francis, and he grew in stature. Tyson Fury, reluctant to follow up his jabs. He didn't want to step in with the jab. Barely threw any punches. Him and Martin Bakole came in extremely heavy. Extremely heavy. Bakole got a stoppage over Takam. He was biting on Francis Ngannou's feints, which shocked me. Like, I'm saying, wow, Ngannou's managing to do that? And that's how he stayed in the fight so long. Because Fury was biting on his feints. And Fury wasn't throwing no punches. So Ngannou's gas tank held up fine. And then he had the audacity to throw that illegal elbow. I never seen Muhammad Ali do that, or Joe Louis, or even Sonny Liston, who was as brutal as they came. You had to throw an illegal elbow as somebody having his first pro fight as a boxer. That tells you that he knew he was in danger of losing that fight. The scorecards at the end were irrelevant. Damage was done in the third round when he went on the canvas. Even if he had got up and stopped Ngannou in the same round, the damage was done right there. And further damage was done with Ngannou outboxing Fury at stages, doubling up his jab, switching southpaw on Tyson Fury, and not just managing to go the distance, but we're questioning whether Fury won the fight legitimately on points. Carl Frampton said he didn't win. There's a whole lot of people who said he didn't win. I've watched it a couple of times. A few of the rounds are swingers. I think a draw would have been a fair result. But don't quote that as my official scorecard, because I didn't officially score it. And I'm not paid to be a judge, so it looked an even fight to me. I've watched it a couple of times. Ngannou kept his shape very well for someone in their first 10-rounder. Good body punching. Like I said, he was fainting in there. He even threw that Superman punch, I believe, in the last round, which endeared me to him even more. Big up Francis. Fury's still doing that thing that Ben Davison mentioned, where he puts his right glove up to his forehead. And Ben was pointing that out, that he needs to cut that out of his game, because if somebody picks up on that, they can time him and exploit that. Did you notice how Fury, in the last two Wilder fights, walked down Wilder? Yeah, he measured him with a jab. He didn't just walk in, because you don't just walk into that right hand. But he walked Wilder down. He didn't attempt to walk this guy down. Why? 19 stone beast mode, bruh. How much does Wilder weigh? He fluffed his way up to 16 stone plus or something in the third fight. And you can see his body looked out of proportion. He went back to 15 stone and changed when he fought Hellenius. Wilder and Malik Scott, they both know Wilder's limitations. There are reasons why he has only fought twice since 2019. There are reasons. But, attention deficit is a motherfucker. A couple of months back, everybody was writing off Alexander Usyk after the low blow controversy with Daniel Dubois, saying that Fury's going to kill him. And now they're saying that Fury's going to try and swerve Usyk. Almost like they forgot what they were saying just a couple of months back. But I don't. They need to get this undisputed fight in the ring as quick as possible and let the attention deficit turn its attentions to that. Yeah, people are saying, well, it's being tarnished after Ngannou embarrassed Fury? Well, you can say it was tarnished after the low blow controversy with Usyk and Dubois, depending where you stood on the low blow controversy. They're both vulnerable fighters, talented fighters, but both vulnerable. They just happen to be in a position to fight for undisputed, and they should, ASAP. Whether that's December, January, March, April, it needs to happen. HBO went out of business, Showtime went out of business, the Misfits seems to get bigger and bigger, the influencer YouTube celebrity circuit, and this was a crossover event as well. And Fury's performance is being said by many to have pushed the quote-unquote real boxing in the same street with the celebrity circuit, because he failed to impress against a man who had never had a pro or amateur fight, and he's a WBC heavyweight champion. I was watching D-Styles' video, and he was saying it's the worst day in the history of boxing. The worst day for the purists. Definitely. Johnny Nelson was talking about Fury's unprofessionalism. Tyson Fury shined the light on a lot of things that are wrong with boxing with that performance yesterday. He shone the light on boxers trying to be fake Mayweathers, talking about, where's the bag? You want me in the ring, where's the bag? And then you get the bag, and look what you do against a guy who's never fought before. He shone the light on fights that we as fans are calling for, the media are calling for. We wanted that undisputed fight with Usyk long time back now. And look what you're doing. Getting your eye busted up by Francis Ngannou. And yeah, a lot of people, they are going to look at it like, well, boxing ain't all that. That's your heavyweight champ. Remember, the heavyweight division is the blue ribbon division of boxing. Boxing right now, the real boxing, quote unquote, has a lot to do right now if anyone expects networks to fund money into it. That wasn't a good fight yesterday. It wasn't. For all the razzmatazz of the event, that was not a good fight. I'm not putting Francis in that. Francis was great value for money. Francis was great entertainment. But Tyson Fury, the world heavyweight champion, he put on a shit show. He did. Tyson Fury looked like a bowl of ice cream. He looked like someone who rocked up out of a pub to fight. And he must feel like shit right now, because he knows the criticism he's getting. What are you going to do now? He's blocked Talk Sports from covering his events. You're going to block all the rest who are going to be saying similar stuff now? Or are you going to give us the fights that we want to see? And that way, if you lose, you'll still be getting credited for taking part, rather than people just ridiculing your resume right now. You know, he comes out in public saying he doesn't care about undisputed. How is that good for boxing? Saying, that might have meant something to Lennox Lewis or Anthony Joshua, but not me. What's the matter with this guy? So he's basically holding that WBC belt hostage. And yeah, the networks are getting run out of town right now. Next, it has to be the sanctioning bodies. You know, let me point out first that BoxRec actually put the card up on their site hours before it broadcasted. Why did they wait till the last minute? There was some incentive or agenda behind that move there. Now, the WBC belt weren't on the line, but there was some WBC Riyadh Challenge belt. The WBC are whores. Tyson Fury is a mercenary. So what about the Mike Tyson factor? He was a co-trainer. He wasn't the permanent trainer, but he helped Francis with a lot of techniques and confidence. And it definitely gave Francis confidence. And at the same time, Fury called Tyson a traitor. You're going against me, I'm named after you. And that's who Tyson Fury identifies with as a fighter. His dad named him after Mike Tyson. He doesn't call himself Luke. He calls himself Tyson Fury. So, being superstitious people, which I believe him and his dad are, I think that had an effect on them too. And a negative one at that. I don't think John liked the fact that Mike Tyson joined the Ngannou camp. But it's a little esoteric, but I said it. If you don't agree, you don't agree. If you agree, you agree. But apart from a few people, most people will be happy for Francis Ngannou. They're going to be extremely pleased for Francis Ngannou. Big up. You did your thing. But as for this being the battle of the baddest, I didn't see that. That's not what I saw in the ring yesterday. But be warned. Be warned. a better Tyson Fury will turn up to fight Usyk. Guaranteed, a more focused, a more purposeful Tyson Fury will turn up to fight Usyk. The issues are, no matter how focused he is, if he's physically in decline and he comes in 270s, and if he throws as few punches as he did on Saturday, how does he cope with Usyk's volume? Because Usyk throws a lot of punches. And the odds makers and those of us weighing up the fights will be asking ourselves, could Usyk actually get a stoppage, let alone just scraping a points win? Late stoppage for Usyk perhaps? Yeah, that could be on the table. So that fight is very interesting now. A lot of people are saying the fight's damaged, it's tarnished because of what happened on Saturday. I think it's just became a lot more interesting. Like I said, don't assess or weigh up the fights with a short memory. Just a few months back, a lot of people were down on Usyk and now they're down on Fury. Look at the overall picture and then make your assessment. Now, I'm going to end the video talking about Francis Ngannou, and rightly so, because ultimately he might be able to kick up the ass boxing needs. Boxing has been complacent. We've seen fighters in the heavyweight division turn down perfectly good fights. Deontay Wilder sitting on the sideline, 2 fights in 4 years. He turned down a bag at the Zone to fight for Undisputed. It can't be denied. He's very indicative of the PBC when Adam Karanaki turned down the bag to fight Anthony Joshua. So did Luis Ortiz. Andy Ruiz finally took it. And ultimately, Francis Ngannou has stepped into boxing at the so-called highest level. And he was paid well, don't get me wrong, he was compensated well. But he took on Tyson Fury without no fear, while all these fighters are sitting on the sidelines waiting for the easiest fight they can get for the most amount of money. So maybe this might spark something in boxers to say, man, this guy just came in our sport and I'm sitting on the sidelines waiting for what? Benchelon pulling Fraser Clark out of purse bids, protecting Fraser from fighting Fabio Wally, the white collar guy. Fraser's an Olympian. It's a joke. Francis Ngannou walked straight into Tyson Fury. Yeah, embarrassing boxing right now. And that's what boxing needs. Stop all the beta male business and handle your business. Don't be getting up in cameras talking a whole load of smack and then don't deliver nothing in the ring. Andy Ruiz had the nerve to say that Joshua won't take the Wilder fight because he's scared. And then Wilder talking about Joshua's got a weak mentality. You're both sitting over at the PBC inactive, twiddling your thumbs, talking about weak mentality. You can't even make a fight. No one cares about Andy Ruiz no more. Nobody. You're irrelevant. Let's not forget Dylan exposed this guy. Turned down 4 or 5 million. And Dylan exposed the email that was offered to him from Matchroom. And Al showed him the terms on his 360 deal and said, nah, can't let you do that, Andy. Well done, Francis Ngannou. Well done.